Yo, Joe. Talking comics, here's your host. It's A Real American Brian.
And we're back to read some more G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue number 52. Storm Shadow squaring off with Quick Kick on the cover. This is not my favorite Mike Zeck cover, but I know there are those out there that like it, so to each his own. Snap Decisions, written by Larry Hama, pencils by Rod Wiggum. The first portion of this story takes place before issue 51, while the rest of the issue takes place after issue 51. Not sure what was going on there, and I don't even know if we really need that explanation. It flows pretty well without that. Serpentor and the entire population of Springfield are approaching Cobra Island. Cobra Commander doesn't want Serpentor to land. Cobra already has a perfect leader. Why did Mindbender create this new perfect leader? Tomax has CG sniper teams ready for Serpentor's arrival. As they approach the island, Destro and Baroness warn Serpentor that he has become a threat to Cobra Commander and should be careful. The pilot is told to put the helicopter down on the spot marked on the ground, but Serpentor realizes that spot is in clear view of all the high points around. He instructs the pilot to keep it rolling until he says, and they stop just before hitting Cobra Commander. Serpentor quickly gets off the helicopter and stays as close to Cobra Commander as possible. The snipers can't get a clear shot. The other helicopters begin emptying out, and all the Springfield citizens get off, praising Serpentor. Serpentor deflects the praise, giving credit to Cobra Commander and the Cobra troopers. Tomax calls off the snipers to avoid a riot. Serpentor begins giving his speech praising Cobra Commander and letting the Cobra leadership know that he doesn't trust them. By calling out the commander in such a positive light, he makes it very hard for Cobra Commander to have him taken out now. The Joes are returning from the swamp defeated and licking their wounds. They head down to the training level to blow off some steam, where Snake Eyes is already putting on a show. Quick Kick and Stalker join Snake Eyes in attacking some dummies of the Cobra leaders, while Scarlet and Barbecue do some training as well. Storm Shadow drops in from out of the ceiling and interrupts the training, telling them he needs a word with Snake Eyes. The Joes are trying to figure out what is going on. Last time they saw Storm Shadow was when Baroness killed him on Cobra Island. They worry this may be another Dreadnought in disguise, but after catching a crossbow bolt and swiftly kicking a couple of Joes, they know it's the real deal. Quick Kick is still confused about the ninja back from the dead. He goes toe-to-toe with Storm Shadow for a while before being dispatched. Storm Shadow takes a step towards Snake Eyes, but Scarlet stands in the way. Storm Shadow verbally spars with Scarlet as he begins to realize that she loves Snake Eyes. Scarlet recognizes that he is the real Storm Shadow, but something's happened to him. Storm Shadow reassures them he doesn't want to hurt any of them. He just needs to speak with his sword brother. Cobra Commander expresses his displeasure with Mindbender's creation, while Serpentor has joined the Cobra troopers in some manual labor, growing closer to the fighting men. A trooper comes in with a message from Zartan. He has escaped the Joes and is headed to Cobra Island to meet with Cobra Commander. Hawk leaves his meeting with the jugglers. Wild Bill updates him on Zartan's escape, but Hawk says it doesn't matter anymore. He needs to get back to the pit to give everyone some bad news. Zartan has brought the Dreadnoughts with him. As they approach the island, they get a message from Cobra Commander. Before he can speak, Zartan grabs Buzzer and makes him confess that he was withholding information on the location of the pit. Cobra Commander stops him and says there are more important things going on. He tells them to secretly land on a deserted beach, and he will have the radar shut off, so his arrival can be a secret. He wants to meet with them as soon as he lands. Storm Shadow tells Snake Eyes that he nearly died after being shot, but went into a sleeping phoenix ninja trance and slowed all of his vitals to the point they could not be detected. Mindbender preserved his body and used him in his Serpentor stew. Storm Shadow had spirits of the dead pass through him before he was revived in Mindbender's experiment. While his body may have healed, he still needs to work on his soul. He asks Snake Eyes to forgive him and help him find a safe haven. Snake Eyes gives Storm Shadow the key to his High Sierra cabin and allows him to leave. Barbecue questions the security of the pit. First Zartan walks out, now Snake Eyes lets a Cobra ninja walk out. Scarlet decks him for the comment. Cobra Commander is waiting for Zartan's arrival when some Joes break through the window, but it is really the Dreadnoughts in disguise. Cobra Commander tells them to stay that way. It may be useful for what they have to do next. Serpentor gets his battle armor and chariot. He discusses with Baroness and Mindbender that he knows Cobra Commander is working to have him taken out, and the killers are probably on their way now. He is right, as we see the Dreadnoks version of G.I. Joe approaching. The Dreadnoks in disguise bust in and prepare to fire at Serpentor, but Baroness throws herself in front of him. Zartan holds Zorana back from shooting Baroness. They don't want to make Cobra Commander mad. Destro steps out waiting for them and tells them it wouldn't please him much either. The Dreadnoks walked into a trap. Later, Serpentor confronts Cobra Commander. He knows of his failed assassination attempt, and he knows where the pit is. He is going to get everyone on the island fired up and ready for an attack on the pit, and if Cobra Commander knows what is good for him, he will work alongside Serpentor and stop trying to kill him. Hawk arrives back at the pit and calls a meeting. He announces that pending an investigation of what happened in Springfield, the G.I. Joe team is suspended and the pit is closed. They will be confined to the base and stay in standard barracks. Storm Shadow finds what is left of Snake Eye's cabin and is greeted by Timber, as he hopes to have some time to heal himself. That is issue 52. The action is picking up. Cobra is splintering and people are going to have to pick sides. G.I. Joe is suspended and the pit is closed. What is going on? My favorite panel from this one is Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes rekindling their relationship as Storm Shadow begins to move towards the light and away from his revenge-focused life. I have no trouble giving this issue 5 flag points, as things are really heating up on Cobra Island. I just don't want to stop reading. But that is all for this issue. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next part of this great story.
So long from Brian. Until next time, same Brian time, same Brian channel.